Hi, it's Geronimo Jacksbeard, episode 612. Everybody loves Hugo. I'm Jorge, with me as always, Sidekick 22.
Hola.
You Spanish today?
Sí. All right, so we have some things to discuss.
Do we?
First off, we will not be accepting theory emails.
We're done with theories.
We can't, we go through them and we just either can't talk about them. I mean, it's basically we can't really talk about anything at this point.
Yeah, there's no reason to send us theories. Theories is something that you're going to have to go and discuss on the other forums or with the other podcasts.
Right.
Because we have
too much information.
Advanced knowledge.
Yep. And we can't.
It doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah, and it's like I feel bad that we can't respond to these emails, but we just can't.
Yeah, all we could really do is be like, "Oh, that's a good idea, but you're wrong," and apparently people don't like it when we do that.
Right.
Because that's another thing to talk about, how we got in trouble from a fan.
No, I got in trouble from a fan who I guess we can assume he's not listening to this.
Oh yeah, because he
now.
he actually said he wasn't going to listen to us anymore until after the whole series was done, because he thought it was a spoiler of the fact that we told him that Ben was not going to mourn Juliet's death.
He was his email seemed extremely upset, and
like he still had it. He still had this inkling of hope that at some point Ben's gonna take a pause,
right?
And he's just really gonna feel sorry for Juliet,
right? Sorry, dude. So the other thing that we've been getting a lot of emails about is about last week's episode, Happily Ever After, about when we discussed the fact that the script said imagining bed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people emailed us with the picture of Evie from season 1 saying, no, I think that was a callback to the fact that they messed up in season 1 with the sign when she goes to see her mom when she has cancer.
So it was just an inside joke to the writers?
I guess. I don't know. I think it was just a typo, honestly. I think it was a typo, but maybe, people want to think that,
Well, I kind of like that idea that it's like, here's a little something for us. Remember when we made that mistake with the imagining room? Here's the imagining bed that he's in.
The next thing that we have here is we have gotten, not a lot, like maybe 3 emails for some reason in the past couple weeks asking us to put the whoosh onto the podcast when we go back to the stuff that we recorded. Are people not listening to the podcast?
Because
we've been doing it now for about, God, I don't know, 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, we've been whooshing to our flashback.
So for those who have emailed us saying it would be a great idea to do this, or you guys should do this, we have been doing it.
Yeah,
we're not
whooshing back. Is that what they wanted? They want us to whoosh back.
We are whooshing back. That's when we do it. Flashback.
No, but I meant we're not return whooshing.
No, we whoosh. Okay, this is what I wanted to explain to people.
Yes.
This is how this whole thing goes down.
Explain it for me too.
We first get the script. We read the script. We record the podcast about the script, discussing it. That's the middle portion of what you guys listen to.
Yes.
Right now we are recording our podcast is in 3 parts: the intro, the podcast, and the outro. Right now we are recording the intro. We record the intro either on Monday or Tuesday, depending on schedule stuff, discussing listener emails and anything else like this that we need to discuss.
Yeah.
And then we record the outro, or we record the intro. Then you hear the whoosh. We put it in there.
Yeah.
Then you hear what we recorded months ago.
Yes.
And then you hear us saying, hey, we're just back. Watched it.
Yeah, and it's what we noticed when we
what was different or whatever.
Yeah, what we might have missed.
Right.
Oh, listener emails. Let's go. Let's do this.
Ken Edwards from Waynesboro, Virginia asks you to please just describe the process of working with Jack Bender. Like, as far as working with a director, I think in general, but I think he says Bender because, obviously Bender works the most on the show.
Well, Jack Bender is interesting to work with in a sense because he's also a painter in addition to being a director, and he was also an actor in the past. But I think his painter side comes into into his directing a lot because he likes to cover the scene from a lot of different camera angles and a lot more different camera angles than like other directors who have come to direct Lost. I think he likes to essentially put together a palette from which to then cut the show from, as opposed to someone who kind of already knows the full cut in his head and says, I just need to get these shots because this is how I see it cutting in my head. Bender likes to, really just gather as many shots, to make sure he has the scene covered from all kinds of ideas, and then let that then present itself how it should look. So what's good with Bender is you're going to get the takes you need to do your job, because he's going to make sure he has the takes he needs to do his job. Elena from Finland just saw a sneak peek of the upcoming Hurley-centric episode, and in the clip, Carmela slaps Hugo once again on the face. Does she really slap you and squeeze your face? And what's it like? Yeah, she slaps me, and it's a lot like getting slapped, actually.
So she does it often. I mean, she does it each take. She does it again. She never pretends it. She smacks your face every time.
Yeah, I think she is slapping me every time that there's a take. And some slaps land better than others. Slaps don't really hurt. They surprise you more than anything.
They kind of hurt.
So, no, I'll show you. Look.
No, that's okay.
No, it's just...
It's all right. No,
okay.
All right.
Fine. Andrew from Glasgow, Scotland. How long will you guys spend filming the season finale? Was it the same as any other episode, or did the director spend longer to make it perfect? Perfect. Well, the finale is taking long to shoot, for sure. We were originally... I had gotten an email saying that we were going to wrap on the 16th of April. At this point, with the schedule as it is, I think we're definitely shooting to the 24th now.
So it's probably going to take at least 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah. So it's taking. I mean, it's technically it's 2 episodes, so
right.
It's taking a little more. There's a lot to make happen for this finale, and you'll know it when you see it. So, yeah, it takes a little more time, I guess. Okay, so here it is, our podcast for Everybody Loves Hugo.
We recorded this on February 15th.
Hi, it's Geronimo Jack's beard. And I really hope you finish that banana soon.
It's Banana Jack's beard.
Episode
612. We're getting close to the end.
Everybody Loves Hugo.
How nice that must be for you and your ego. Oh my god, your head is getting enormous. It's too big for the house.
Okay.
I'm playing on your title there.
Little covert hostility from that side of the table. What was I going to say?
Let's just talk about the weather now for a second.
I'm cold.
It's freezing in here. Jorge has his hood, has a hoodie, has a t-shirt on, plus a hoodie zip up over it. The hoodie is up over his ears.
I have my slippers with the lining, too.
Yes. I have on a sweatshirt and a t-shirt and a wool cap. We know it's not, they just announced, because today's February. It's February 16th. No, it's February 15th. It's the day after Valentine's Day. And they just announced, 2 or 3 days ago that 49 out of the 50 states have snow, except
on
for
the
us.
Ground, except for us, the only holdout.
Except for us.
Right.
So everybody's probably like, boo-hoo.
The Big Island's going to
lamos.
Maybe they'll get some
But
snow.
it's cold right now. I mean, if, I think if other people were in our house with us, they'd be cold.
So, well, we just
sat on that
just
toilet
had guests
seat and it
that
was
left
freezing.
today, and I don't think they were cold because they came from the mainland, and the mainland's warmer. How was your Valentine's Day?
It was very lovely. Do you want to talk about it, or?
No, we don't have to. No, just because you said it was the day after Valentine's Day, so might as well talk about Valentine's Day for a second.
I mean, we don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. I mean, we had a nice dinner last night, but we don't, like, get into the whole Valentine's Day thing. It's kind of lame.
We're late recording this, because I shot this a long time ago.
You did.
Cast list includes returning Harold Perrineau, reprising Michael, Cynthia Watros, reprising Libby. Oh, yeah, this was announced. Oh, this was a long time ago, actually, because this was announced at the TCA.
Yeah.
And this is when they, pretty much when they put the...
That was just in January.
Yeah, they had announced it, and then, like, later that day or the next day, I got the network draft of the script, and it was like, oh, it's right there in my script.
Yes.
Francois Chow returns.
Pierre Chang.
Lillian Hurst returns.
Yes. Your mother.
Bruce Davison returns.
Yeah. Pretty much everybody. The teenage boy.
The scary boy.
The creepy boy returns.
Oh, even Archie Ahuna, our special effects guy basically the guy who blows everything up on the show, he reprises Grandpa Tito.
So...
Oh, yeah, even directed by Dan Attias, who, he directed Numbers, my very first episode, period.
So this episode starts out with the whole "You're the Man of the Year," and it says in the script that...
Oh, I still have more to shoot on that, by the way. This...
Oh, yes!
We have an announcement!
Well, by the time... Oh, yeah, we'll announce it, because they won't know until you say it, and then they'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, sure.
They're not going to know. Unless we write, like, a note saying, in this upcoming episode...
Pay close attention to...
The Star of the Pound, or whatever it is. The Humane Society.
Our very own Nunu will be featured in the opening sequence of, like, the movie that honors Hugo.
Nunu is our small Chihuahua dachshund. So the script starts out with, it says, a soothing narrator narrates while you see these things on the screen of how wonderful Hugo is. It says, this is a familiar voice, and then we later find out that it's Pierre Chang. So my question is, did they make him look old with makeup? Older? Because, he looked like how he normally does in the 70s.
I didn't pay attention to that. They did.
I mean, I would hope so, and that because otherwise people are going to start being like, does Pierre Chang not age either? I mean, I'm assuming they're going to pepper up or salt up his hair, a bit.
They might have. First of all, the lighting in that place, because there's like a spotlight hitting him and stuff.
So in this first part, your dad, so Cheech is not present. So are we to believe that he still left you when you were younger, and that's the whole...
I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I mean, when Hurley felt he was cursed in the old flashback, I thought his dad arriving was, at the time, he thought it was part of the bad luck. So it is possible that, in a lucky thing, his dad is out of his life. Because at the time, because he had left early, but I really don't know.
Interesting.
She doesn't mention him.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's not mentioned at all. There's nothing about him in there,
know.
so I'm just wondering, I guess
we don't have any information.
He left and he never came back like he did when you won the lottery this time. Because your dad came back because he thought about the money.
Right.
So this time,
right.
Speaking of the lottery, so they discuss how you like Charlie and the Chocolate, or like a Willy Wonka setup where Hurley found like a $1 bill outside of a convenience store and used the numbers from the bill.
How about the amount?
The amount of what? What do you mean?
What was the lottery jackpot?
It was like 156 million in the first season, and here it's 187 million.
That was the lottery jackpot. Was 156 million?
Yeah, I thought so. Or 115 million. It was 115, I believe.
Okay.
Why? So you won more.
Yeah, even more. Even luckier.
187. Doesn't 187 mean, like, murder or something in, like, the cop world? Doesn't it? Wasn't there a movie called that?
I don't know cop codes.
I don't either. I've never been arrested or anything. Never. So then we after, you know, you basically, your mom talks about, like, you gotta find a woman or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I'm always your date at these things.
Right.
And she says that
we
she
shot
set
that
you
at the
up.
golf course. Yeah, continue.
The golf course. Oh, the poly golf course thing.
The golf course that's also a church.
In Kailua, Kaneohe, like between Kailua and Kaneohe.
Yeah.
And so then she says that she sets you up on a blind date, which we later see you go on in a little bit. But first, we flash back to the island, and you're once again at Libby's grave.
Right.
Which, to me, it's like, we only see you going to the grave when something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, we've never just randomly seen you
I go to
at
the grave a lot. We just have never seen it. It gets edited out of a lot of episodes.
Yeah, right.
Because they're like, listen, you know, the grave stuff's great, but we really need to,
Sure.
It's kind of like, you know, like when you hear, like, previously on Lost, you find out everything that happened, like, before. That's kind of like every day at the grave. It's just me explaining what happened. All right, yesterday, I found...
So Libby's grave is kind of like your journal entries?
It is.
You just go and give her audio of...
It is. And so Locke should be one of those graves now, too, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Still, another... See, that's the thing is, like, dude...
Oh, yeah.
You should have gone to talk to Libby, and then all of a sudden Locke's ghost starts talking to you.
When we went up to shoot there...
That would have been way more awesome.
There were people taking pictures, and there was...
On the beach?
Oh, yeah.
At Police Beach?
Yeah.
Taking pictures while you guys were filming?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
There's, you know, and so they're, like, seeing that there's a new grave dug.
Ah.
And they're wondering what that was about. Is that the one that I got into? Yeah, that one.
Oh.
The one that was...
Sweet.
That was, like, Ben digging his own grave moment, I think.
But then Harold is back. Well, right. Ilana is like, what's up? And you're like, what's up? But then, so then Harold comes back.
Yeah, it's kind of like my first scene with Zuleika.
Oh, it was?
I mean, we had, like, group scenes, but we didn't, like, talk to each other.
Right.
But this is, like, the first time we actually have, like, a real scene moment.
Well, it's a good thing you got it in when you did, apparently. My favorite part of the to me, like, I really appreciated the writing on this next page because it's a description of the table and Hurley sitting there, and, you know, the fact that he's been sitting there a while, and there's, like, a basket of chips that have been eaten because he's been sitting there for, you know, a long time waiting for this girl, so he's just been waiting and eating chips and stuff. And the first sentence is, instead of saying, you know, there's a basket of chips and he's eating them all or whatever, or there's just one, it says, it says, interior Mexican restaurant day, on a basket of chips, and this is the greatest line right here, a lonely tortilla chip rests among the scattered crumbs of its departed brethren. I thought that was great.
Brethren?
I thought that was fantastic. That was a beautiful way of saying there's one chip left. Like, there's one chip left, he's eating them all. A lonely tortilla chip. That was so great. Good job. This is Eddie and Adam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good job. Okay, so you're there and you're waiting for this Rosalita or whatever. Right. And all of a sudden, who approaches but...
The waiter.
Libby. Oh, well, yeah, the waiter first. And then Libby. And she knows you. Or is she crazy? But she knows you, and she's like, I saw you, and I knew
well, first
you,
he thinks, I think Hurley thinks that she's the blind date.
Right.
So he binds her, he sits her down, and then you realize that Oh, she's not the blind date.
Right. She's crazy. Oh, she's not the blind date. She's a crazy person.
He doesn't know she's crazy
From a
yet.
mental
He
institution
doesn't know she's
who
crazy
just
yet.
sat down at my table and she's
Right
probably gonna
now,
start
it's
drooling
just
and
some
barking.
chick, and then this doctor shows up.
Right, Dr. Brooks comes and he's like, "Oh,
Totally
sorry."
cock blocks Hurley for some reason. We don't know why. And then he falls out and sees that she is actually part of the mental institution.
Thank God that they put the name of the mental institution on the side of the van. Otherwise, Hurley wouldn't know where to go.
Right. Good point.
I mean,
And
or he'd call every single mental institution asking for, do you have a blonde chick there named Libby?
You'd think if you were like at a restaurant and that van pulled up, you'd be asking for the check probably pretty soon. Either that, unless you're really interested in like just seeing what the crazies might do.
Yeah. It might be kind of entertaining.
But these are only the crazies that are healthy enough to be able to go to Mexican food.
Yeah, it's not like that one guy who's like, what's that guy's name? You open the box!
Yeah.
What? Leonard.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. If he was sitting next to me at a restaurant, I would definitely leave. He was weird. Yeah, he wouldn't be invited to that little fajita field trip or whatever you call it later.
I love hearing, like, when we're doing the stuff in the mental institution and the ADs are giving instructions to the people who are playing the people behind them.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, you're on a telephone. You're on a telephone, and then you're gonna sit down here and start painting.
Wait, they're on a fake telephone?
Yeah.
Like they're pretending to talk on a telephone?
Yeah.
Oh.
And do they give them little like assignments like that? It's
Man, that actually would have been, I think, a more fun extra work for me to do than the Jira. I mean, the Jira thing was fun, but to be able to like play a crazy person, I think I could do it really well. Sometimes I pretend like I'm crazy, like when I'm by myself
on
somewhere, not on the bus, but like if I'm walking down a street and it's dark, like this one time. I went to London by myself, and I left where I was staying, and walked through Covent Garden to Waterloo Station.
In London? Did you say you were in London at the time?
I was in London.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, did you say that before, or you just started?
I did. When I was in London, and I walked to Waterloo Station at 4 a.m. to catch the train to go to Paris, and I was by myself walking through Covent Garden to Waterloo Station. It was a good 10-15 minute walk, and I was like, anytime I saw a person, I'd be like, and start like barking to myself, because I was like, well, they're not gonna mess with me if they look at me and think I'm crazy, you know what I mean? And you start spitting and stuff. It works. I haven't been mugged yet.
You spit on the wrong guy, you might get hurt.
No, I don't spit on them. I spit on myself. I do. No, I don't. But you spit on the ground and you kind of bark a little bit and you just twitch and you just kind of make yourself kind of fit in with the ones that you think are going to approach you and scare you. But then I got to Waterloo Station just fine. And
what about in Paris?
In Paris, the places I went, there were so many people, so I wasn't like terrified. But I did it again because the train got back to Waterloo at like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and I had to walk all the way back, and there were other people out, but I mean, anytime I'm walking somewhere by myself, it's like somebody said a joke about that once, I think it was Steve Martin or somebody on maybe one of my dad's old records, and it was like something about if somebody asks you for your money, you should throw up on your money or something. I can't remember what it was. I
remember when I was in high school wrestling, and then we after the weigh-in you go to breakfast, and some people would order a lot of breakfast because they were starving because they were trying to make the weight.
Yeah.
And I remember one point one of the older wrestlers was saying like, listen. Because the coach is like, listen, don't eat too much because you don't want to get sick on the mat or anything like that.
Oh, no.
Which happens. But,
no.
He was like, listen, if you throw up, one of the wrestlers was like, listen, if you throw up during your match, just keep wrestling.
Oh, God.
Just keep wrestling. Win. He says, because it'll scare the crap out of the other wrestler.
Oh, my God.
Like that was part of it.
Jesus. I can't even imagine wrestling someone and they throw up on me. I think that'd be the worst thing that ever would happen to me in my entire life. So you and Harold have this scene where he tells you, don't blow up the plane because you're going to start something.
Yeah,
right?
He says people are listening to you because they think that you talk to Jacob and that the dynamite, people are going to start dying around you because of it.
Yeah, and it unfortunately happens.
Yeah, why do you think Jacob hasn't come back around?
What do you mean?
Well, part of my thing is like, listen, Jacob told me this, but he hasn't been around in a while, so I don't know what I'm doing. Basically, that's kind of what this scene he's like trying to explain.
Right.
That I'm just doing what Jacob tells me to do.
Right.
And he hasn't been around, so.
Right. I mean, maybe he's just kind of like, oh God, I've tried to do all I can. He's just exhausted, I bet. He's kind of retired. He's retired now. He's dead. He doesn't have to deal with it anymore. So he's like, he's in Florida. So at some point, I have a note here that says, Locke says to Kate and Sawyer, the Azure flight, you guys all came together, and that's the only way we're going to be able to leave here. Is together.
Right.
We're going to have to leave the island, so we have to get everybody on the plane. We're going to have to go to the Hydra Island and get the plane or whatever.
Yeah.
So is that like the whole thing with having to recreate 815, that they're going to have everybody on the flight? Or is it just he's wanting to just make sure that all the candidates get on the flight because then that's the way he has to do it?
I think as long as there's a candidate on the island,
he can't leave.
Or as long as there's a Jacob on the island, he can't leave.
I just didn't know if it was like when Eloise says back in the day, she says, you have to recreate as best you can. And
yeah, but what are we recreating?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I don't think that has anything to do with it. He's making a stick.
Yeah, what is that? I don't remember. Does that end up being something?
We don't see it be anything.
Okay. I mean, I didn't notice that the first time I read it, and then just now when I was reading it, I was like...
I mean, it's going to be something, probably.
It's got to be, if they're making it.
They're talking about it, right? So It's probably like,
But, yeah, we haven't seen it yet.
Maybe it's going to be, he's going to finish Mr. Echo's church.
Yeah, right. It's like, I got this one thing to do before we leave the island. I'm going to finish this church.
I made a promise.
Okay, so then the next big thing that happens is Ilana's demise, which I wasn't expecting at all. I mean, I heard about it, but I wasn't expecting it to happen like that, and I wasn't expecting it to happen in this episode, honestly.
Like Arts?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Arts. You even warn her, like, at some time you say something about it's really unstable.
It's really unstable, and she's like, listen... this is my ex... Listen, if I know anything, it's this. This is the area of my expertise.
Yeah. Well, she says, I'm looking out for your best interests, yeah. Evil, and God help us if there's anything, leave us by. But boom! And she's gone.
And then we had to, like, fall back.
And did they throw pieces of stuff on you like they did with Arts?
No.
Oh, because that was kind of the funny part, was where Arts piece,
but
and then on Jack's shoulder.
We had to be like, I mean, shouldn't at least, like, this, there was like a rain catching thing there and stuff like that. We're like, well, shouldn't these things be, like, flipped over at least or something? We're like, how big of an explosion are we talking about?
Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? Rain catching things?
Yeah, there's like this, like, frame with, like, a tarp over it for catching rainwater.
Oh, there is?
There's a few.
In...
the beach camp.
Yeah, okay. But this happens at the Black Rock, doesn't it?
No.
Oh, no, I'm thinking about later when the Black Rock explodes. Because I'm thinking Arts. I'm thinking about her coming out like Arts.
Yeah, no.
You're right. Okay, so she carries the dynamite, or she's holding the dynamite, and that's when it happens.
Yeah.
What?
She had a lot of stuff in that bag, not just dynamite.
What else?
I don't know. It's like all her stuff. She was like putting a water ball in it and stuff like that.
Oh.
It was like that didn't make it blow up.
I see what you're saying. So the rain catching things that you guys use to get water.
Yeah, we're like, shouldn't all this stuff be kind of like messed up and turned over? I mean,
and like her.
If something blew up, something might have.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Shouldn't, like, we clean out these water things because now it's got pieces of a human in it?
No,
so
no,
nobody's
no,
going to want to drink this
no,
water. No. Oh. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and they scattered a lot of, like, pieces of, like, purple.
Was she wearing purple?
Yeah, I think she had a purple shirt on or something. They scattered, or whatever.
So they did kind of make it, like, you know, but it wasn't as gruesome as the piece of art's on Jack's shoulder.
No, we didn't have to do any of that.
So then, right after that happens, like, you look over and Harold, Michael's like, I told you people were gonna die. In the last episode.
Oh, then I agree. Because then it's like, well, we gotta get more dynamite.
Mm-hmm. So then we go back to the Flash sideways again in the Mr. Cluck's.
Oh, yeah. This is me drowning my sorrows in a bucket of chicken, right?
And Desmond,
my Outback Roasters posters on the thing, and the slogan for Outback Roasters is, "It's like a walkabout in your mouth."
Oh God, that is so weird.
We kept saying that the whole day.
So when you so you sit down with Desmond, and he's like, "What's wrong?" He kind of hints at you there that, like, maybe she does really remember you because maybe she's not crazy or whatever.
Well, it's kind of like where Desmond first meets Jack in the stadium.
Right.
And Jack's like, yeah, and I can't fix her. And he's like, yeah, but what if you did fix her?
Right.
Like, why you gotta be a jerk about it? I didn't fix her. He says, yeah, but come on, what if you did? And so this is kind of...
So he's kind of pushing him in that same way.
It's kind of like that. That's kind of how he is to people. He just kind of...
But do you think that
says the opposite of what people say.
Yeah, but do you think that maybe he, at that point, was not time traveling or whatever he's doing?
Oh, is he reality jumping or whatever?
Right. I mean, I don't think they knew it back then in season 2, but... I'm saying now, looking back on it.
No. He's just, this has become his new project, this whole idea with the manifest and trying to see how many people are having the same experience and what does that mean, I think.
The next note that I have is that you blow up the Black Rock.
That's the next note you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I managed to beat everybody there.
Yeah.
And
like set up the fuse and do the whole thing.
Get around and go set up all the dynamite in the Black Rock so that it blows up when they're wondering where I am.
That was I was there for that when they blew it up. I went to work with you that day.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. Oh, you know the Black Rock is under a tree?
Yeah.
And that tree is the same tree I sat under with Emerson when we shared the candy bar in the scene, because like the cabin was there.
Well, that tree was set on fire a little bit
by the explosion.
Yeah,
it was a good fireball.
That was amazing.
And then we shoot the aftermath of the explosion. Oh, they were throwing, by the way, when that thing blew up, they were throwing pieces all around me and stuff like that.
Pieces of what? Wood?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of wood and. They shot me with like dust and they have these air cannons that they fill with like dust and pieces of cork and just explode them onto you. It's still not as bad as when Mr. Clucks blew up.
Why? Oh, because they threw raw chicken at you or whatever?
Yeah, they hit me with raw chicken.
Yeah, that's really gross. I don't even like to touch raw chicken when I have to cook it and stuff. So I can't even imagine it touching like my back and my neck.
I touched raw chicken today. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that moment when he says, prove it or something. Or he says, like, ask him what the island is. Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. What is the island?
Oh, when Alpert says, go ahead, ask Jacob, and you're like, I don't have to prove anything to you. That?
I didn't do it like that.
Well, but I mean, that's how it is?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean what would the answer be?
Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah, what do you think the island is? Like, what the island is?
I don't know.
I think...
Purgatory.
You know what I started thinking?
Like they started saying in the beginning?
I think it's a prison.
Why?
It's a prison for the Black Smoke. It's like... Do you ever see The Twilight Zone where this guy comes to this place and there's a bunch of people who all look like they're dressed like biblical people. And there's a guy in a cage that they keep, and they keep like trying to tell him, says, "They got me. I don't know what these people. These people are crazy. I don't know what they're doing." And the guy ends up letting him go, and it turns out that guy was the devil, and that guy and then that guy's job was now to chase the devil and catch him, and he catches him in like a hotel room. And he's trying to explain to the maid not to open this door because he's finally caught the devil.
No, it sounds familiar. Like when the marathon was on, I think maybe we saw that episode,
we
but
did.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it.
You remember the
detail.
one? You remember the one where everyone had beards and like a shepherd's stick?
No.
Oh, that's
so you're thinking it's like
that's
it's
what
based
that's
on
what
that?
I thought about when I heard that. That was like, what if it's something like that? It says we need this to keep him in prison, and that's why you need to keep having new Jacobs, and that's the only job the island has.
Is to watch over this.
What
prisoner.
What if that is the only job the island has, but that guy does all these things on the island that make the island so appealing to get more and more people to come in the efforts that he can maybe try to escape.
Interesting.
What if he?
But wait, Jacob brings people to the island. Remember in the season finale last year, in season 5.
Yeah, you're
where it's
right.
Like,
you're right. Okay, a long time ago they said it's not purgatory, and they have, although on many occasions things have arrived that make it feel more and more like purgatory. Take Abaterno when he says, "Listen,
right.
we all go into hell."
Right.
Those kind of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in the same way, like they said, there's no time travel, and then we started time traveling years later.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't purgatory then. Is it purgatory now? I'm assuming no.
I would think no, but
All right,
who
so
knows?
take purgatory out. Maybe the island's a prison.
Okay, well that's your theory. We'll go with it.
It's Alcatraz.
My favorite. That's my favorite prison. If I had to be in prison, I'd go there. So you kind of skipped over a couple things though that happened before that, but it's not. There's another off-island Libby thing where you go to the hospital to find her, and Dr. Brooks is like, I don't know, it's not a good idea. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, take me out of here. I'm voluntary,
Yeah.
whatever. And then you guys are talking, and she says, I think there was a plane crash.
Right. And we knew
so
each other. We
she
liked
knows.
each other.
So she's realizing things. She knows things, and it's like, do you have to be crazy to remember?
Well, it's like she believes these things, yet everything else, all other information that she gets is that this isn't truth.
So then you do get to take her away from the mental institution, and you finally have the picnic on the beach.
Right.
And it takes what?
Beth loves this part.
Oh yeah, it's great. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. It's his job. I get it's his job. But who wants to see their boyfriend kiss somebody else? Nobody. Thank you very much. No, I mean, whatever. It's all for Lost. Yay. No, but the kiss is what reignites the memories in you, right?
Right.
Isn't that how it goes? It's like
Yeah.
you guys start to kiss and you're like, "Oh, whoa."
Yeah.
Pew! You have these visions in your head.
Right.
But the only thing that I had a problem with, besides the fact that my boyfriend's kissing someone else, is I just felt like the scene, once again, the flash sideways are either so obvious or they're so similar to what happened before. And I just felt like the scene on the beach right before she kisses you is this exact same scene as on the cliff, where it's like, I like you because I like you, and this is real, and I'm real, and it's the same thing. I just felt like it was the same thing, and I just felt like it could have been a little bit different. There could have been something a little more different, but then I was like, well, maybe he needed it to be the same in order to remember. I don't know.
You left something out that actually we came up with on set. Actually, it was Nestor's thing. He said it when we split up after the Black Rock incident.
Yeah.
And Ben Miles and Alpert go one way.
Right.
And we go the other way.
You and Jack and Son and Lapidus.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Because you're going to look for...
Nestor was making a joke about it, but he found it, all right, like he was marching off to his death. Because Albert, Ben, and Miles aren't candidates at all.
Oh.
So we kind of split up as candidate and non-candidate.
Oh no, that's not good.
Because a long time ago, wasn't even Lapidus possibly a candidate?
No, I think somebody says something like, "Oh, you think he's a candidate?" I think Bram said that, and I don't think that it was like he was. I think it was
legitimate?
just like, oh, that's not good.
It's kind of candidate, no candidate.
That's not good. That's not a good sign. We did forget to mention though. Okay, so you mentioned that the split happens, and you see Michael once again. And that's when Michael says that the whispers in the jungle are the dead people who are are imprisoned on the island or whatever.
Right.
But we forgot to mention that Locke sees the creepy boy again.
Right.
In between there. Okay, so back to the beach kiss thing.
Yes.
Creepily, Desmond from afar is watching you guys. Like, creepy and grinning and like smiling and like like my plan has come together. And then we flip back again into Locke and Desmond at the well, and Locke tells Desmond something about the people who dug this well were digging for answers.
Yeah. Because
the electromagnetic whatever. And then he talks about how Charles Widmore doesn't care about answers. He only cares about having power.
Uh-huh.
And so I mean, is that a lie, or is there truth to that, do you think?
Charles Widmore?
Yeah. Because I'm starting to feel like Widmore is... I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, but I'm starting to feel like he's not the Man in Black. He's not bad like that.
Right.
So I just don't know if he's lying by saying Widmore wants power, or... I mean, I don't know. I really still don't understand what the whole Desmond test thing was.
Yeah, I don't know.
About...
And what's so wrong with power?
Yeah, what's wrong with power? But then freaking Man in Black Flock guy throws Desmond in the well. And so I'm like, okay. So he throws Desmond in the well. And then the next scene we see Desmond in front of the school, and Ben comes out and he's like, "Excuse me, why are you standing out here, creepy?"
Right.
Because you're creepy watching people kiss on the beach, you're creepy watching kids at school, you're creepy. Right. And then he basically, Locke comes out of the school and he, hits and run. Does a hit and run. So is that because he knows that Locke is going to throw him down the well in the other universe, and so he's getting back at him, or he's getting at him before he would do it? Why would he do that then?
I don't know.
I think that's what it is. I think that Desmond knows that this bald guy threw him down a well and tried to kill him, or did kill him. We don't know if Desmond's alive at this point now. And I think he's trying to stop the future, or he's getting revenge for this other life or whatever. That's my opinion of the whole thing.
I think no.
No? Okay.
I've kind of stopped believing that Desmond is jumping from one timeline to another timeline. I think that he's just in this timeline, but he kind of is learning that there's something else going on. I don't think he can go back and forth.
You don't?
No.
I mean, you don't think he can go back and forth, voluntarily, or you don't think that he can still do the flashes,
the thing? The tough question is, what part do the memories begin? If you're in the other timeline, are you having memories of stuff that we haven't seen us do yet in the other timeline?
I don't know. I know, it's weird. I don't know how any of this stuff works, honestly.
We were talking about whether or not, okay, Hurley remembers Libby, great. Remembers being on the island with her, great.
Yeah.
And we had, what happens when you remember the fact that she died? Does she die in the other timeline?
When you remember she would die? Oh, I don't know.
It's like that, you dream your death thing.
Oh, God.
It's one of those things.
I don't know. I didn't even think of that.
She's like, I remember you were on the island too, and then, oh yeah, this is familiar. We were on this picnic in blankets.
Yeah, but yeah, but then what? She just drops dead of nothing, or she gets shot by like some maniac on the beach? I don't have an answer.
I just wondered. By the way, we're jumping around a lot, but I want something else about.
We're really not though. We're at the end.
The sounds, the voices being the
uh-huh.
dead people. It's one of those answers that they're providing in the final season, but it's a little over-explained, don't you think?
Yeah, I wasn't, when I read that, I wasn't like, oh, I was kind of like, oh.
Yeah, on top of it, it's like, I think I know what these things are. Dead people. Hold on, let me go over there and have a short little conference now.
Yeah, I wasn't.
And I'm like,
hey,
are these dead people? Yes, the voices are dead people.
Oh,
good.
Are they dead?
I always wondered about those voices. Best we go back to my scene again.
One thing I forgot to mention when I talked about Desmond creepily looking at the school is when Ben does come up to the window.
Right.
Desmond says, "Oh, I have a son named Charlie. I'm looking for a school for him." But in this universe, he just met Penny. So what is this? Is this what?
That is weird.
Oh God, you creeped me out. I was like, "What is over there? Don't look over there creepily."
I didn't even pick up on that.
I was like, well, that's another thing. It's both worlds coming together, you know? And then my very last note says Hurley and Jack and San and Lapidus, and they finally get to where Locke and Kate and Sawyer are, and you and camp. Yeah, and then you and Jack see Locke, I think, for the very first time, and you're kind of like, all right, dude, we got weapons. You got weapons. You want to promise me that you're going to be nice to us?
Well, I never saw Locke dead.
That's what I mean. You've never seen
so
Man
I think
in Black.
It's a bigger deal for Jack, obviously.
Right. You never saw him dead. I just heard he was dead you never from saw his body. Right? Because Jack did see it, right?
Jack was
in
there.
The coffin.
He had to help move.
Yeah, and in the script they make it sound like Jack is more like, holy crap, there he is. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, good job.
Another one down.
Everybody loves Hugo. That was our take on 6/12. We're getting very, very close to the end.
Oh man, we're almost there. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. And next week.
Yep, that's when we'll see you. Or that's when you'll hear us. What a great episode.
Thanks. You were looking at emails during the show.
Well, I was going through emails during the show.
That came in?
That came in, and one came in...
I guess that's kind of the benefit of us being on Hawaii time, that...
Yeah, I mean, everybody's seen it 6 hours ahead of us.
Everyone's already seen it.
Right. So, yeah, we did get a question, just one last question that we'll answer. Brian Jude from Passaic, New Jersey asked about the episode tonight. He says, in the island scenes, your hair falls down way past your shoulders, but in the flash sideways scenes, your hair is maybe half the length. What's up there? What's up with that? Is your hair really shorter and you have to wear an extension or wigs? Or is it really longer and the shorter hair is a wig?
Well, they cut my hair and then I grow it again, just like I grow my facial hair.
Yeah, right.
There's special supplements that grow my hair faster. What they do, because they have this whole long process that they take my hair as it is and they do like what did they call them? Like pin curls or something underneath.
Yeah.
They pin my hair up.
They wrap it up and then they kind of roll it. They kind of curl it around their fingers and make it like a spirally thing, and then they pin it into your head.
Yeah, so they raise my hair up underneath and the outer hair still falls down normal, but the hair underneath gets pulled up to make it, come off my shoulders.
Right.
And making it look shorter. My hair was really messy.
It was
in some of those shots with
Dr. Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look.
Yeah, Bruce Davison. Yeah, there's a couple shots there where it looked like I was driving with the top down or something.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so there's a few things that you wanted to discuss as far as differences.
Yes, is there anything you wanted to discuss?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So just certain things I noticed.
I'm trying to think.
Well, one thing that you may notice, or may have noticed, or if you didn't, and you rewatch it, you may notice, the scene when Alana comes back with the dynamite, you can see that we were dealing with some rain during that scene. There's a couple shots that actually you can see drops. It's kind of when the shot's on Nestor's back, so it's like past Nestor to Alana, Zuleika, you'll see there's drops on his back of his shirt, and during those scenes, sometimes you see actual raindrops dropping. Yet in the other part of the turnaround where you're seeing Nestor's face, it's a moment that was dry, and you don't see the rain. It's interesting the way they cut that first appearance where Harold shows up at the grave too, because that scene ended up turning out more confrontational than I realized, and there was some rewriting going on there.
Yeah, he doesn't say the thing about he didn't kill Libby or whatever.
Yeah, and
which I don't know. Like that's not. I don't think that's a huge thing that there's a change of that, but.
You don't think that's important? He said that he didn't murder her.
That he didn't murder her.
Yeah.
Right.
That it was
he
like
didn't
an
mean
accident
to or whatever. Yeah.
And when we were coming up on the hill and I was carrying that torch was really juicy, and thus the flame was really big, which really made me nervous when I had to do that turnaround to turn to Matthew Fox and continue the scene, because I had to swing that torch around, and so you can kind of see that I swing it kind of careful.
Because you singed his hair in one take.
No, I didn't.
Yep, I read about it.
You did?
In the National Enquirer.
Oh. Well,
Jorge Garcia sets fire to Matthew Fox, I think was the title.
Well, it's a legitimate paper.
All right, everybody, don't forget you can email us, I guess just questions at this point, no longer theories. Questions or whatever, else you want to talk about. Harry Potter, In-N-Out Burger.
What, you're already moving on to a new podcast idea?
Yeah. No. Yeah, but if there's anything else you want to talk about, you can email us at geronimojackspirit@yahoo.com.
You can go to our blogspot, geronimojackspirit.blogspot.com, and so you can find links to all our stuff, right?
You can become a fan of us on Facebook. Yeah, there's a link on the blogspot. There's also a link on the blogspot for Cafe Press, where you can buy Geronimo Jack Spirit t-shirts, mugs, panties. No, wait. We didn't do panties. Bags, whatever. Stuff like that. And you can also follow us on Twitter from the GJB blogspot page. All right, everybody, that's it for Everybody Loves Hugo.
Thanks for listening.
Have a good night.